Hey everybody. Today we are going to discuss our third note-taking strategy before having some practice time with our introduction to our next unit. To begin, please take out your template that I gave you in class on Friday. Our third form of note-taking is called Cornell Notes. Now you don't need to take notes on these next few slides, but follow along and use your template as a guide. Cornell Notes were created at Cornell University as an organizational method to help with comprehension and is broken into 4 easy-to-remember steps. These steps can all be broken down using both your notebook or an online template, whichever one you prefer. The first section, located at the top of the page, organizes your notes. Simply fill out the information and look for the purpose statement on the front board when in class. For today, please copy our purpose statement located on this page. Also, please fill out the remaining pieces in this section. Pause the video in order to do these things and resume when you are ready to move on. The section located on the left-hand side is the recall section. Here, you would put the main ideas or section headings. At the end of the lesson, you can write any questions that you may have or that you may want to ask me on a different day. Finally, the largest and most important section is used for your notes. The most important piece of information is to not copy down information word for word. Here, you need to be able to listen to the information during lecture and record only the most important information so you can focus on listening for other examples and more details. Some people like to create their own method of note-taking. Some people highlight, others use different colored texts, and others can use different forms of marking such as circling key terms, underlining vocabulary, or putting question marks or asterisks next to things that they need more clarification. Whichever method works best for you is the method you should use. Finally, the summary section. Here, using 1 to 2 sentences, summarize the lesson in order to help you study later on. Studies have shown that in this section, it helps you remember information more over time as you are using the information in your own way, usually in your own words. Now you can see a completed note sheet. Take a moment to look at the benefits of Cornell Notes before we move on. Now, using your Cornell Notes template, let's focus on our third unit, which will be about culture. In your recall section, write what is culture. Now, in your notes section, write the definition that you see here. In sociology, culture is defined as specific aspects of life that characterize a group and are passed down from one generation to the next. Again, we define culture as specific aspects of life that characterize a group and are passed from one generation to the next. One more time. We define culture as specific aspects of life that characterize a group that are passed down from one generation to the next. As we continue, move through while taking notes on your Cornell template. Our next step is to look at how we can see culture in everyday life. In your notes, title this section, 8 Aspects of Culture. Now, just to double check, where did you put that? Hopefully you put that title in the left-hand column of your notes, the recall section. The 8 aspects of culture are listed for you on this slide. Please pause your video, write them down, and give 2 examples for each of them. When you are done, resume the video. When you think about all 8 aspects of culture, it really is a large part of our lives. In sociology, we break each of those areas into 2 branches. Those branches are known as material and non-material culture. Material culture would be the pieces of culture that you can touch physically, while non-material culture are objects that you can't touch. Take a moment and record this info and come up with specific examples for both branches. Focus your examples of material and non-material culture using religion. When you are done, resume your video when you are ready. The last thing we are going to look at is how strongly we feel about our culture. This unit, we will look at a variety of different and maybe odd cultures that you've never been exposed to before. Today we are going to learn about a tribe called the Nakarema. Click on the link in the video and read this document. When you are done reading, write down 3 odd things that the Nakarema do. When you are done, resume the video. Hopefully you were able to gain some appreciation for how normal our culture is compared to the Nakarema. There were plenty of examples to think of what made them odd, such as having holy mouth men and how those men rip out demons from your mouth. A key to learning to understand other cultures is to not judge them. How would you feel if someone looked at your culture and called it dumb or stupid? Surprise, that's exactly what you've just done. Nakarema is American spelled backwards, and all of the odd things that you were just judging only moments ago are things that you do on a daily basis. Now, we've gone through a lot of information in a short time. To collect your thoughts, where you would normally write a summary, answer this quick write by reflecting on both the lesson and this quote by Ralph Linton. Thank you for following along, and make sure you bring your completed Cornell notes to class tomorrow where we can continue this discussion.